Croeso Pawb to the PlayStation Indies PSN sale. This sale ends on the 10th of March, so that'll be your last day to pick up these deals. This sale is ridiculous. I mean, it's huge. There's so many games. It's beyond a joke. I don't know how many parts this is going to be, but it's going to be a few. Okay, let's look at the games. Our first game is 16-Bit Soccer. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and it's on an 80% discount for the crazy price of 99 pence. This is an arcade football game, and is basically a rip-off of Sensible Soccer. So if you remember that, you'll love this. Or if you're looking for a bit of arcade football fun, you'll get a lot of that for this price. Next is A Whole New World. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for the low price of £2.39. This is a 2D platformer that includes a story mode with 5 different worlds, a Game Plus mode, Boss Rush mode, Challenge mode, and multiple endings. Up next we have A Knight's Quest. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.99, which is pretty good. This is an action-adventure and it's basically a Zelda rip-off with extra platforming elements, where you play as Rusty, who accidentally starts the end of the world. So you set out to solve puzzles, fight enemies, defeat huge bosses, and platform your way to save the world. And along the way unlocking spirit abilities, mastering fire, ice, and time. Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchiridion is next. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 70% discount for a price of £7.49, which isn't bad. This game is an RPG set in the land of Oo, which is now underwater, and it's up to Finn and Jake to find out why. It features an original story with the English voice cast from the show, and it's a bit simpler compared to some RPGs, but it's based on the Cartoon Network show, so what do you expect? It's still pretty good. Next up is All Star Fruit Racing. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the price of £3.19, which is pretty good. This is a kart racer, and it's basically a Mario Kart rip-off, with 4-player local and 8-player online multiplayer. It's just got more fruit than Nintendo properties, that's basically the only difference. But it looks quite fun and it'll be really good for a kid, or for anyone interested in kart races. A great deal next, Amnesia the Collection. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, but it's a compilation, so they're older than that. It's on a 95% discount for the price of £1.19, which is ridiculously cheap. These games are all survival horrors and it includes 3 of them: Amnesia the Dark Descent, A Machine for Pigs, and Justine. All 3 involve waking up in a strange location with amnesia, and having to explore and find a way out while avoiding nightmarish horrors. Arafel Enhanced Edition is next. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and is on a 60% discount for the price of £5.99, which is pretty good. This game's an RPG, and this Enhanced Edition includes a revamped battle system, new classes and skills, a new user interface, updated crafting system, enchanting system, difficulty modes, autosave, Twitch integration, and more. This game aims to relive the golden age of RPGs with some updated modern mechanics, so this should be great for old school RPG fans. Next is Army Krog. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the crazy low price of £1.59. It's a point-and-click adventure with unique claymation graphics, made by the creator of Earthworm Jim, and featuring an all-star voice cast including John Headon, Rob Paulson, and Michael J. Nelson, and an original soundtrack by Terry Scott Taylor. And you play as Tommy Knott and his blind alien dog Beak Beak, unraveling the mysteries of the fortress that holds them captive. On to Axiom Verge. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and is on a 50% discount for a price of £7.49, which is okay. This is a Metroidvania game where after a lab accident a scientist awakens in a mysterious alien world, where you must search a labyrinthine world to learn its secrets, and find out where you are and how to escape. Next we have Banner Saga 1. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for a price of £3.99. which is really good. This is a turn-based RTS with a story inspired by Norse mythology, where you are trying to escort a prince in order to seal an alliance to fight back against the Dredge who have returned to destroy the world. If you're interested in this series, the second game is also on sale for the same discount and price. Battle Chasers Nightwar is next. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the price of £4.99, which is pretty good. This is an RPG based on the graphic novels, and you get to play as 3 of the 6 included characters from the comic books. and then set off adventuring for some traditional RPG fun. The next game, Big Pharma, is for PS Plus users only. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and if you've got PS Plus, it's on an 80% discount for the price of £5.99, which is pretty good. This is a management sim where you run your own pharmaceutical company, researching and designing drugs, balancing the books with your conscience, and design and build the production lines in order to manufacture them within your facility's capabilities. Next is our first VR game, Blasters of the Universe. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 60% discount for a price of £4.79, which is pretty decent. This is a VR shooter that requires move controllers, so if you don't have them, you can't play them. And it includes a campaign mode, a challenge mode, online leaderboards, and weapon customizations. It has great humour, and the gameplay is the standard stand there and dodge bullets while shooting back bullet hell that you're used to. PS Plus only again, Bud Spencer and Terence Hill's Slaps and Beans. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and if you've got PS Plus, it's on a 70% discount for a price of £4.79, which is not bad. This is a 2-player co-op beat-em-up game, with lots of mini-games and interactive level objects for you to beat people up with, and looks fun for the retro beat-em-up fan. And another VR game, Budget Cuts. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and it's on a 50% discount for a price of £9.99, which is good considering it's basically new. This is a VR stealth action game where move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it. This edition includes extra levels, difficulty modes, and an arcade mode. In the main game you work for Transcorp, but unfortunately they've decided to fire you by setting their cost-cutting robots after you to kill you. So you must use stealth, teleportation, hiding, and lots of pointy stabby things in order to fight back and survive. This was a legendary VR game early on, but it's a shame it took so long to come to PSVR. But at least it's here now, I guess. Next is Caveman Warriors. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, and is on a 75% discount for a low price of £2.89, which is really good. This is a 2D action platformer with 4-player co-op, where you get to pick from 4 playable cavemen and women, and then fight your way through the platforming levels to victory. Now we have Crossing Souls. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 75% discount for a price of £2.99, which is really good. This is an action-adventure RPG, and looks a bit like a Stranger Things rip-off, where you play as a group of 5 teenage friends who find a pink gem that allows them to travel between 2 realms, and then the friends live the summer of their lives going on an adventure that tangles them up in a government conspiracy. A very popular game next, Crypt of the NecroDancer. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and it's on an 80% discount for the low price of £2.59. This is a roguelike rhythm game, where you have to play the entire game moving to the music. Every button press, every move, every decision. You play it all to the rhythm, baby. Just the way the NecroDancers love it. Dear Esther Landmark Edition is next. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, and is on a 75% discount for the low price of £1.99, which is awesome. This is a walking simulator, and this edition includes the director's commentary mode and a dynamic theme. Playing this game you explore an island, and get to experience a very immersive story while you do it. That's basically it, really. On to Earth Atlantis. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 70% discount for the low price of £3.89, which is really decent. This is a side-scrolling shooter, where Earth has flooded and mankind has fallen, and you now play as a hunter in your submarine on a journey to fight the underwater machine fish monsters. There's a quest and hunter mode, with 4 playable subs, 12 events, and includes 25 monsters and 4 enemy subs to sink. Next is Felix the Reaper. It was released in 2019, so it's 3 years old, and is on a 90% discount for a really low price of £1.99. This is a puzzle game where you enter the world of the living to try and impress the love of your life, by manipulating shadows in order to move through the levels and solve puzzles, and it even includes 10 switchable soundtracks, which is pretty unique and awesome. Scary next, Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 50% discount for the price of £12.49, which is okay. This is a VR horror with optional move controller support, where you play a collection of classic and original minigames from the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, which will be great if you're a fan, and terrifying either way. Not scary now, Flippin' Death. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for the price of £3.99, which is pretty good. This is a puzzle platformer where you play as Penny, who dies under mysterious circumstances, and wake up to find that you are now Death himself. So you must flip between the world of the living and the dead in order to solve puzzles and unravel the mystery of your demise. More VR now. Form. It was released in 2018, so it's 1 year old, and it's on a 50% discount for a price of £5.99, which is decent for a VR game. This is a VR puzzle game where move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it. As Dr. Eli, you follow a mysterious signal into the obelisk, where you solve the geometric puzzles, seeking to find a new existence within the obelisk itself. The next game is for PS Plus members only, and it's a maybe still. FREEDIVER Triton Down. It was released in 2020, so it's 1 year old, and it's on a 45% discount if you've got PS Plus for a price of £6.59, which is borderline, hence the maybe. This is a VR survival game and move controllers are required, so if you don't have them you can't play it. You are trapped in a capsized research ship. As a world-class freediver you must explore the ship and find a way to escape back to the surface while outmaneuvering the water's lethal surge. I love the idea of this game, and swimming with the move controllers is bound to be awesome. This game's definitely on my wanted list. Furwind is next. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 75% discount for a low price of £1.99. This is a 2D platformer where the evil ancestor Dahin has been released from captivity and is ready to bring back the dark madness to the forest, so it's up to you as Furwind the Fox to platform your way to stopping him. Up next is more VR for PS Plus users only. Ghost Giant. It was released in 2019, so it's 2 years old, and it's on a 55% discount for the price of £8.99, which is pretty decent if you've got PS Plus. This is a VR adventure where you help the citizens of Sandcourt Village solve their quirky problems by manipulating the diorama world around you, with a story written by the acclaimed writer Sarah B. Alfgren. This looks very cool. Not a VR game, Gianna Sisters. It was released in 2014, so it's 7 years old, but it's a re-release, so it's older than that. And it's on at least a 70% discount for a price of £2.39 or £3.59 if you don't have PS Plus. This is a 3D side-scrolling platformer where you switch between two dream worlds as you platform your way through 33 levels, including the new Rise of the Overworld adventure. Next is Guacamelee Super Turbo Championship Edition. It was released in 2014, so it's 7 years old, and is on an 80% discount for the low price at £2.29, which is awesome. This is a Metroidvania game that includes 4-player local co-op, where you play as Juan the Luchador, who dies and must return back from the land of the dead to save his love from the evil skeleton Calaca. I've completed this game and absolutely adore it. And while you're looking at this game, the sequel's also on sale for 80% discount, £3.79, if you're interested in that too. Hard Reset Redo is next. It was released in 2016, so it's 5 years old, but it's a remaster, so it's older than that, and it's on at least an 80% discount for a price at £2.84 or £3.79 if you don't have PS Plus. This is a first-person shooter, and this edition includes remastered visuals and additional content. In this game, you live in the final human city and get drawn into a conflict between two of mankind's greatest enemies, with a lot of old-school over-the-top destruction, loads of enemies, weapon variety, and a challenging campaign. It's a real fun old-school FPS experience. Now we have Hollow Knight Voidheart Edition. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for a price of £4.63, which is really good. This is a Metroidvania game that includes 4 content packs with extra quests, boss fights and abilities, where you play as the knight who is determined to find and kill the 3 dreamers who act as locks to a seal containing the infection that previously drove the kingdom to madness and undeath. This game is highly acclaimed, with awesome graphics, and is essential for any Metroidvania fan. The next game is for PS Plus members only, In Death. It was released in 2018, so it's 3 years old, and it's on a 60% discount for a price of £9.99, which is decent if you've got PS Plus. This is a VR roguelike game with optional move controller support, where you fight your way through procedurally generated ruins deep into the afterlife to restore harmony, and it even includes a multiplayer challenge mode. Next is Infinite Beyond the Mind. It was released in 2020, so it's only a year old, and it's on a 75% discount for the low price of £1.84, where you play as Tanya or Olga, the two girls who have the power to stop the Beljantar Kingdom's army and take down their evil queen, and it also throws in 2-player local co-op as well. Up next is my star buy, the Instant Indie Collection Volume 1. It was released in 2015, so it's 6 years old, but it's a bundle so the game's older than that. It's on at least a 90% sale for a price of 89p or £1.79 if you don't have PS Plus, which is a ridiculously low price for 3 full games. This bundle includes Stealth Inc. 2, The Swapper, and Thomas Was Alone, which are all really good indie games. Highly recommended. It's my star buy. Check it out at this price. Where else are you going to get 3 games at less than 30p each? It's ridiculously amazing. Buy 'em. Another indie collection now, Instant Indie Collection Volume 5. It was released in 2017, so it's 4 years old, but there's a bundle of games that are older than that, and they're on at least a 90% discount for a price of £1.09 or £2.19 if you don't have PS Plus. And this bundle includes Manual Samuel, The Little Acre, and Human Fall Flat, all of which are very good games, and worth picking up at this price. Okay guys, that's the end of part 1. I'll keep going and I'll see you in part 2. To be continued.